Share the live. 30 seconds or more. Coming to you live.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Share the live. Share the live. Here we go. Here we go. All right, good evening, and welcome to another segment of the new Black Leadership Coalition, here live in the great studios of Intellectual Radio. My name is Gregory Singh, one of the co-founders of the new Black Leadership and the host and sometimes the co-host here on this powerful, very meaningful, and very serious broadcast here in these great studios. I am very, very blessed and honored this evening to be with the founder of the New Black Leadership, co-host of the show, producer, and a lot more, sometimes just behind the scenes with a gang scene. Minister Michael Muhammad, my brother and my friend. Good evening, Brother Minister Michael Muhammad.
Good evening, Brother Gregory. Thank you for that introduction and welcome back. I know you were under the weather last week.
Last year. Yeah,
so,
man.
I'm glad you got
still getting a little of that
back.
mucus stuff out, but slowly but surely I'm bouncing back.
Yeah, you must have been I told somebody you must have been trying to steal a kiss from the wrong girl.
Oh, my God.
She had a cold and you caught it.
No. Thank God it wasn't that situation right there, man. Thank you, Lord. It wasn't from the wrong girl or the right girl. Oh, we got somebody over here hacking up right here. Did it come from the studio in here? Right. Wrong girl. Hack it up over here. But yeah, man. So I'm glad to be here, and so much to say. It's so much to talk about. We got a call-in guest.
Yes.
We promoted the brother, but he got back on the road, Brother Cyron Smith. And this brother, the National Block Club extraordinaire, Brother Cyron. He's going to call in about 7:15. Going to talk with him a little while. Wish he could have been here in the studios. So we'll just talk with him a little while and see what's on his mind as he travels. But the commentary today is I really honestly, man, and you all that's listening, please share this live. I do not know where to start because it's not just the political climate, Mike, that I want to talk about, but it's also, I don't know if you all are paying attention. Wanda, I know you paying attention to this. Mike, it's really a deep thing that we at war. So when I'm at the eye doctor and I see some program regarding Michael Jackson and the two individuals talking about Michael Jackson again, then you're seeing this thing with R. Kelly, and then you seeing this stuff with even Jesse Smollett. And you seeing, but look at all of these, the white media. I want you all to hear me loud and clear. Even though many black people felt a lot of black people felt that OJ was maybe guilty, but we saw something else in that whole piece. We see something else with Bill Cosby. The white media is the enemy of black people. I'm telling you all straight up. They are the enemies of black people. I'm sitting in the barbershop and, I got that Shazam app and I hear a song. And so One of them was by R. Kelly called Far, I think was it Far More, Far More. It's a great song. And from Shazam, it goes automatic to the iTunes. But when I looked, it wasn't on the iTunes. So they done took all of this man's music. First of all, they have not found the man guilty. We know that there was some disgusting stuff. I don't need you to tell me that. Hell, America is disgusting. The whole goddamn Hollywood is disgusting. All of those actors and actresses that you all like, most of them are freaks. Hell, the Playboy Mansion, nothing but foolishness went on, and you all look up to Hugh Hefner. Hell, you even look up to what's the guy who wore more Victoria's Secret than women? J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover. You look up a building named after that creep. I mean, George Bush, a real crazy background. Then y'all got wicked witch Hillary Clinton in Alabama and Selma with them. A killer, a murderer. Telling you all, we stupid. It make, as Lou Palmer said, it make a Negro turn black. The hypocrisy of this world, man. Why the hell y'all still talking about Michael Jackson? I mean, man, what about Elvis Presley, racist butt? How about racist John Wayne? I mean, all of them cats. And then Pee Wee Herman. I mean, that list go on and on. What about Mr. Weinstein? And then he took his stuff and put it in his brother's name. Donald Sterling did the same thing. I mean, man, we are so silly, but yet we want to beat up on each other. I'm getting to the political stuff in a few minutes, but I just felt like while we busy not paying attention to, and we're going to be right with the caller. Tell him we'll be right with him. While we busy beating up on each other as the world turns, white America and the hypocrisy of white America. And, you know, I'm going to be just like some of the white people. You know, I got very good friends or friends that are white. But, man, hell, I'm not going to stop telling the truth. I don't know what's wrong with us, man. And some of you are so quick to beat up on R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly should have his butt beat up in some instance and more than just some instance. But you better damn sure see the hypocrisy. Why you can't make that boy the poster child of pedophilia. You can't do that. Hell, the priest should be out front. It should be the priest. It should be the priest. They should be the face. But we so busy, we so quick to want to destroy each other. And again, I'm not condoning, I'm not supporting, I'm just telling you, I'm checking out hypocrisy. And I don't need some of y'all little weak comments regarding his sickness, because some of you all sick too. Hell, ain't none of you all holy. Hell, all kind of mess go on in the church, in the synagogue, in the cathedral, in the mosque, in the temple. Hell, man, get out of here, man. Get on my nerve with that. And so anyway, that's just, and Brother Si, I got a couple of more things that we gonna get right to, you know, an update on what's happening with you, Brother Si, okay? Okay. Oh, he's muted. But now I gotta say this about this political climate, the black agenda. Some of you people, you all have no regard to principles of organization, the principles of organizing in terms of arriving at a place where we don't have to react. I want to thank you, Minister Mike, for your steadfast and discipline about doing it right. We in trouble because we react and we do it wrong. We've had so many opportunities to meet on a regular basis like intelligent people But if you really not for black people, for black empowerment, and even say you are, you would not get the results that we need because we are disorganized. We're not disciplined to arrive at a point where whoever is in whatever office, they would have to respect our process. So it don't make a difference who is in office, and we really being tested. Everybody want to tiptoe. Everybody want to walk on eggshells regarding why would God in this dispensation of time give us two candidates like we got? Boy, you got to talk to God. I promise you this is a test for us. I mean, none of us, you know what? We so out of touch, Minister Mike. You don't hear nobody talking about Selma or not too far away. About 23 people lost their life. A tornado. They said a half-mile size. A lot of stuff going on, man, but we are asleep in America, man. And we are worried about trivial stuff. I mean, look, our survival, we've been surviving up to this point. And as you said, Minister Mike, the black agenda is a 4-year process. It's something that we deal with every day. But if you're not organized, people take advantage of our reactionary stuff. And I'm telling all of you all that claim to be leaders and activists and organizers, man, you better go and pray to God that he gives you more wisdom and insight, and stop reacting and stop acting as though you got all the answers, but yet you don't come in the room with other thought leaders. You don't come in the room with other leaders because of your insecurity or your damn ego or just being, a narcissistic kind of individual. But anyway, the black agenda is all about us. And I don't want to hear nothing about people of color. I'm not a person of color. I'm not African American. If y'all want to be you African American, don't be. You black. Thank you. I'm black. I'm black like Mike's shirt. I'm black. I'm black. You better not call me minorities. If you hear anybody saying, well, I want to look out for everybody, hell, that's somebody that don't care about themselves. Hell, I'm here for black people. Black, 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 black. Not minority, not Negroism, not people of color. No, I'm not African and I'm not American. No. And you not either. You just don't have the knowledge of self. So you call yourself anything just to fit in. Hey, African American. Well, I ain't gonna call you stupid. I'm gonna be nice. But you ignorant. That just means a lack of knowledge. Anyway, I guess that's my commentary. But I wanted to talk about this black agenda thing, and I wanted to talk about us being at war. We at war. So anyway, listen, folks, right now, I'm going to come back to that. Me and Minister Mike going to mix it up. But before we do that, we want to right now bring in over the live telephone line our brother, our friend, one of the co-founders of the New Black Leadership and the president, CEO of the National Block Club. This is our friend, Brother Cyron Smith. What's up, Brother Cyron?
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah,
yes, sir. We could hear you. We could hear you, man. What's up?
Man, praises to you brothers, man, for keeping the fight going. Minister Mike, he's a quiet storm, and Greg, you the vocal one, so I love it. The 1-2 punch, keep everybody riled up and going,
Yeah, I gotta, you know what they say, ain't no damn telling what's gonna come out of my mouth, but this one right here, but Cyron, I've watched this one. He can't go on no rostrum, and it's just gonna be a real feel-good talk. It ain't never happened, ever. No, Lord, if something happens, it's the same thing with the minister. They get up there and they start off and get a salutations and blah, 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 brother. But because of the seriousness and the time, it's not a time for us to just, be a punk. We warriors, man, and we ain't none of us is gonna be here forever. So I don't know why we sugarcoating stuff. I don't know why we going along to get along.
No, we in bad shape. I think the good news though is like you look at the consistency of New Black leadership, like because when you look at pop-ups and things that just come and go, the election is over now for the most part. And a lot of those people are going to disappear. Won't hear from them here for 36 more months. But guess what? What's been consistent? What's been steady ticking? And so you people that are out there in the streets, they recognize who's been out here, who consistently be out here in and out of season. So I expect big things as we continue to fight forward with what each one of us are doing and the New Black Leadership Collective.
Yeah, and what you said is a very good point because the work that you do. You don't need Facebook. You don't need Instagram. You don't need Snapchat. You don't need any of those things because you've been doing it already. You've been doing it from door to door. When we sit down, you have something to pass out. So I love what you're saying. And you're right. If Facebook was to go off the air, some of these cats will be finished. I think they'll probably lose their mind because that's most of their ministry right now. It's Facebook. I use the instrument, but at the end of the day, I was doing this way before Facebook. Me and Mike, by the grace of God, bro, we ain't new to this. We true to this.
Right. When you connected to the streets, though, I always tell people, whenever you talk about united front, that's a danger with that because when you say front, I wonder what's behind that because putting up that front, what's behind that? So you gotta be real careful.
That's right.
The integrity is what's behind that.
That's right.
Hey, and a whole bunch of people fronting.
They run to the cameras, right? Like they go to the media and say, "Hey, look at what we doing." You don't have to do that. Stay true to your people and fight for them. You don't have to be seen all the time, and that's the unfortunate part with social media. People want to get likes and clicks and tags versus, respect from the people on the block.
I love, man, the work. I promise you, man, if we really will embrace the concept, brother, that you have worked so diligently, so tirelessly, so consistently, the work, man, that you have put forth with this National Block Club piece, it's huge, man, and it is absolutely a way to connect the dots.
Y'all know, listen, because this is a piece I told Erica this, Erica Dunn, the beauty, the way I see New Black Leadership and what we're doing on the accountability piece, because that's the key. You got to have respect to call other leaders to account. So can't know anybody come and do that. You just want to have credibility. And all the pieces that we put in with New Black Leadership, we can do that. People come. Now, when we think about the continent, though, and, I don't know the percentage, but I got a feeling most of the, continent is Muslim. I was telling Erica, I said, it's important for me, I'm Christian, that I got ties to the Islamic community so that, like, whenever God let us go there and the droves, that we can connect with our brethren over there, whether they Christian or Islamic. And I look at you and Minister Mike as pillars for that. So our work will transform from America back to the continent, and I think that's going to be another dimension to the New Black Leadership and the longevity of it when we start connecting back home.
Oh yeah, I love it, man, and I'm glad you said that. We got to make that connection. One of the pictures on the Final Call newspaper, you saw those two hands stretched out, and it was a connection between us here and our brothers over there. And so we have always understood the need for us to have that type of relationship, whether we are Christians, Muslims, Hebrews, etc. We understand. Matter of fact, bro, we now realize, brother, that Brother Cyron, me and you, we actually the same religion. Ain't no different in our religion. Our religion is what we do. Our religion is identical. Identical. Now the label that's why I don't know who said that. It might have been Malcolm. I don't know. But when Malcolm said most of what we talking about are labels any damn way. I mean, because in the bottle, the contents are pretty much the same. I know some people want whatever they call it, thunder, and the other one want this, but it's all alcohol. And it all has the same effect on the brain. You dig? So at the end of the day, we both are in the same religion, and that religion is to uplift our people. That religion is to try to make a difference. And I say this, Cyron, thank you, brother. And our ancestors are proud of you. They proud of you because, hey, bro, you can just go on and get a job and just take care of yourself and your family, get your hustle. You don't have to be about this stuff right here, man. And definitely at the capacity that you're trying to deal with this, you ain't got to do that.
Right. No, I appreciate that. You know, everybody, they come.
Right. So I really appreciate you, brother, and the work that you're doing. You got to come into so that people could see you, man. We want the folks to see you, man. I know you. Where you at? You on your road? You on the road back home or what? I think did we lose you? I think we lost him. But look, Mike, I think we lost him. So anyway, folks, I wanna get back to this whole thing about.
Are you there, Si?
The black agenda. I want to get back to the black agenda. And I want to talk about what is a black agenda? And why is it that we at a epic, crucial moment continue to react when in fact there have been a movement to try to get us all on one accord so that we could see the wisdom and real working unity, not talking unity, but working unity. We have had presentations by folks who have given a forensic of the budget, the city budget. We got all of that. We understand and we still learning. But what's missing is a deliberate dialogue to arrive at an agreed set of principles. We might say agenda, but principles that have a foundation that lasts regardless who in office, will continue to last. And Mike, that's what is frustrating to me. And that is, as you have laid, not because of something you done by yourself,
right,
but you paid attention to other movements that failed due to the lack of organizing, the lack of discipline, and really it is beyond ego. It's beyond even the trauma stuff is real, but the other part of it is some of these people just don't know how to make this work.
Well, some of them do, and that's the problem, is that the enemy works through divide and conquer. But it's not the open enemy that we see.
Mm-hmm.
It's our brother or our sister that's in league with the open enemy privately. So we have on top of the self-hating indoctrination that afflicts us, the natural tendency to not want to be bothered with each other, being stripped of the ability to work on our relationships. When you put all that in the mix, we have a select group of people who get everything they want, or the big stuff they want, whether it's Daily or Rom or whoever's in, They go to Mike Madigan. They go to Bill Daley or Richard Daley or Rahm Emanuel or whoever the power broker is.
Ed Burke and all
Burke. They go and they get what they want from those people, or they get something from those people that make them feel special, that make them afford them a high quality of life, while the people in whose name they stand still suffer. So we've got to break that paradigm. We've got to break this model where if I just go in and talk about what is good for the group I belong to, and they give me a little bit for my group, then now I am watered down. Now I'm tempered in a way that I really don't have a problem with them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I keep talking black in public, but privately I'm receiving checks and opportunities from the people that are in the way of changing the blight, the poverty, the suffering, the misery, the oppression, the miseducation, and all of that that's going on top of black people. I can talk black to them, to my people, but I never figure out how to make a structural change that forces the powers that be that are allocating resources that we put, those are our resources, right? But most of our leadership has not demonstrated a desire to advocate in a way that it just doesn't benefit. You got your consortium of social service agencies, so your consortium gets more grants. You got your allegiance of black contractors, so your little group gets a few extra contracts. You got your group over here, so you get yours. So each little group gets a little bit, enough to pacify us, while the masses are still struggling and suffering. So this is what we've got to change. We've got to stop this thing where one group goes in and all our people are straight. And so we got a lot of rhetoric, but we really ain't trying to hold power accountable for changing the conditions in our community, because they gave us something to make us feel special. And so we're all right. We're comfortable. We can go to meetings all day. We can sit at City Hall whenever there's a meeting, because we got money, we got gas money, we got parking money. We can fly here and there and all over, and we can engage in the work because we've extracted resources for our group.
Mm-hmm.
But Pookie and them on the corner still feel like they got to sling drugs. They feel like they got to sell pills, or they got to push Molly, or they got to push lean, or they got to do what they got to do to make some money. They got to crack cards or whatever the thing is. That's what they still feel like they have to do, because they don't really see a change in the hood. The hood is still the hood. It's still a dark place. It's still covered over by ignorance and deprivation and brutality and hostility. We have not come together, even though this has been tried many, many times. Let's make no mistake about it. And what we need to ask ourselves is, what prevented Frederick Douglass and the other black leaders of his day from coming together? What prevented Booker T and E.B. Du Bois and Brother Abbott with the Defender and those in all of the various movements of that day? And what prevented all of these groups, when we go down the annals of history since 1865 to 2019, all the way up through Minister Farrakhan, Tavis Smiley trying to bring our leaders together? What prevents us from having leaders that can stay together? So we got to look at ourselves. What is it about me that will offend people when we come in the room. Am I too petty? Am I too cocky? Am I too arrogant? Am I too caught up in my hurt and my pain that I won't even hold my nose and sit next to you and try to work out something where we can leverage our strength and our influence, not for our personal gain, but for the gain of poor people who really don't even know that they suffering. They so ignorant, they don't even know they suffering. They feel like going to, Chai Tongue or Red Lobsters. They living good. Well, damn, they don't know they suffering. They in the mall in a line 1,000 feet for a pair of Jordans for their baby, and then they don't have no money left. But they feel like they living good. They too ignorant to know they suffering. So we have an obligation to our people, and that's when you talk about having a platform for leaders to come together. That's a very, 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 very difficult thing, because when it's election time, everybody that wants to run for office, they'll come to that meeting because it's an opportunity. When election time is over, you won't see those people. People that when we're poorly motivated, we can't come together. We can't come together. If I can't cuss you out, then that ain't a real meeting. If I can't be a low down ratchet nigga in the meeting, if I can't kick, cuss, spit, and holler, then I don't want to come to the meeting. Y'all think y'all too uppity. That's too much discipline. That's some old Muslim stuff. I ain't coming in that meeting. Well, hell, gang meetings have order, or at least they used to.
Right.
And if you got out of order in a gang meeting, you get your head popped. If you violated the protocol, I've seen it with my own eyes. So don't tell me gangsters can come together, but so-called pro-black conscious people got all of this little minutia why we can't come together. So we've got to fight that. We got to resist that. It's not easy. It's very, very, very difficult because we've been made an impatient people. Well, man is made impatient by nature, but black people in particular, we are the most impatient people on the planet when it comes to dealing with each other. Now, we'll wait on white folks forever. No matter what they Daley did, we said, well, we got to give Mayor Daley one more try. And if Rahm Emanuel was running,
yes,
then a lot of us be saying, well, we got to give him one more term. He'll be better next term and his next term and we patient with white folks, but we hella impatient with one another. Even I'm talking about leadership now. So we're trying to break through that fog, and some of us have reasons to have beefs with each other. Sometimes I offend you and I don't know it, or I offend you on purpose. It was unnecessary. I went out of my way to insult you or disrespect you, and I just did it because it made me feel I was on the worst part of myself, and or I didn't like that you was getting credit over here, and so I just went out of my way to try to get more credit for the same thing that you was getting, and you saw it. You was watching me do it, and you tried to ask me to be cool, and I wouldn't be cool. Sometimes we have legitimate grounds for beef with one another, but that's different from our obligation to our community. So what we have to have is a platform where if you and I have a difference, there's a third party in the room that could say, or the whole group can say, okay, you guys need to air this out, and we're going to listen objectively. And we're going to tell you all where the middle ground is, and we're going to insist that you all meet in the middle ground, and we'll come back later at another time and work on some more. But we're going to have conflict resolution between so-called activists, organizers, and leadership. We ourselves, we just like gangbangers. We need conflict resolution.
Teach.
So it takes moral, spiritual people with moral and spiritual credibility to provide conflict resolution. Okay, you can't resolve conflict, and pardon my language, you may have to bleep me out, Wanda. If you a shit starter, you can't mediate conflict. If all you do is keep up mayhem, you behind scenes poking and prodding and mudslinging and backbiting somebody and talking down to somebody try to do something good, you poking at them and all that kind of stuff. You can't mediate. Nobody gonna fight. Nobody gonna trust you to mediate a conflict when you start conflict. If all you do is if every time you open your mouth, you trying to fight with your own people, you in conflict with everybody, how can you help resolve conflict? You can't do it. You have to humble yourself and recognize your own self. Some of us are master complainers. We castigate everybody, no matter what good. We never highlight the good that's going on. We spend more time talking about what people don't do than we spend talking about the good that people like Brother Cyron and others are doing every day, making a tremendous sacrifice. We don't highlight them. We would rather spend 16 hours talking about what white people don't do, what Negroes don't do, what everybody else is not doing.
Teach.
Right? And that's why we can't make progress. That's why we don't respect each other as leadership. Because you can't talk about there's no leadership and say you're a leader. Well, who are you? You nullify yourself. I can't say there's no leadership in the Black community because that would be self-negation.
That's right. That's right.
There is leadership in the Black community. So we've got to create a paradigm shift where we focus on the real leadership that love Black people, sacrifice for Black people, that struggle against their own needs, wants, and desires to try to uplift the masses of Black people. That's what we got to create an environment where that's the order of the day. Don't keep telling me what people not doing. Don't find fault with everything everybody does. So the round table is an attempt to create an environment where people can speak their mind even in vehement disagreement without being insultful and hurtful to one another, without becoming violently disagreeable, but trying to force people to think deeper about their position and whether or not their position will benefit the larger mass of Black people. It's easy to go get a contract for your group. It's easy to go get your own grant. That ain't changing nothing. If we got 50 contractors together and all 50 of them got contracts, the question is, does that change the industry? Hell no, it don't change the industry. We got to do something bigger than 50 contracts to 50 contractors. That don't change the industry. It enriches those 50 if they're smart. But most of them ain't going to be enriched because they don't even know how to handle the money. They're going to lose the contract and give white folks back the money. So we got deeper issues than money and it's something in here we got to deal with. So we got to create a process. It doesn't matter who wins for mayor. Because if you love Tony and Tony wins, or you love Lori and Lori wins, or you love one of the other ones that didn't make the runoff and they had won, how are you going to hold them accountable? All we're going to do is march and shout and protest and beg for somebody to treat us right? Are we going to trust another Black person the way we trusted Obama and get nothing? And they right here. Why was Obama able to do that? Because Black leadership is disunified. The bourgeois elite don't care about the poor masses. The bourgeois elite go to the table. They can afford to celebrate symbolism because they collect 6 figures or more. They live well. They're not hurting. They don't feel no pain. They can go to wherever Obama is. They can buy the book. They can follow the tour. They can get inside because they can pay their way in. They don't see a problem with gentrification because they buying the new condos. They buying the brownstones and the gray stones and the new construction. They can afford to do all that, and they don't care about poor Black people. So if Tony or Lori wins, what happens if what happens if one of them has a heart attack? Whoever wins, what if they have a heart attack and fall out, God forbid, and they make their transition? That already happened to us and we weren't ready. Harold just came from the doctor and left here under mysterious circumstances through heart attack. What happened? We weren't prepared. We went into personality worship. This one wanted Evans, this one wanted Sawyers, and we split over personality instead of focusing on the agenda and putting in place a mechanism of accountability no matter who wins that fifth floor seat. That's when we're not serious till we get to that point. See, the Asian Chinatown don't give a damn who win. They didn't even have a candidate.
That's right.
Koreatown didn't give a damn who win. They don't even have a candidate.
Teach.
But they got influence. They get what they want. You go in their part of town, you're going to follow their cultural norms. And City Hall is going to respond to them. When you go up in Rogers Park, Andersonville, Streeterville, you got Germans up there. You got some Irish up there. You got a few Polish people. You've got the enclave of the LGBTQ community. You have in West Rogers Park, you have strong enclave of European Jews, Ashkenazi Jews. Well, they get what they need out of City Hall. They're not fighting over no personality.
Teach, Mike.
We the only ones. White folks did a little bit in this race and they undermined each other. But that was a rarity.
Right.
But normally we're the only ones fighting over personality. We get caught in the personality game.
Ooh.
And so that's why I'm challenged. That's the challenge I have for us is, can we rise above personality worship? Because whoever you choose is a finite person. An agenda has to be bigger than any one individual in order to get us what we deserve. We've never received any type of justice in Chicago or America. So in order for us to get justice, we can't lay justice at the door of a personality when it wasn't a personality that pulled us into oppression. It wasn't one person that brought us here as chattel property. It was a system. So if you want accountability from a system, you have to put in place dual or countering opposing systems to confront that system. Now, the system is personalities in the system, but they're systems. They got a plan for everything. They got a plan for the lakefront. They got a plan for downtown. They got a plan for Block 37. Yes. They got a plan for McPier. They got white people sit down and put together systems that are in their plan, well written. So if whoever's in power, if Mike Madigan's head explodes, the next white man of power will pick up that template and carry forward their agenda.
Come on, Michael. Come on, Mike. Teach it. Teach it. Teach it.
We get so caught up in the personality that we can't see reality.
Ooh.
And this is what we've got to rise above. I know some people don't like this kind of talk because you like your person. Well, all of us are defective human beings. We all got a defect and we all have an expiration date. And, some of us are so caught up in the personality worship. Look, I believe people deserve credit for the good that they've contributed to our struggle. But not to the extent that I got to turn a blind eye to the fact that person has reached their expiration date. And I'm not talking about just biological age. You could be 10 years old and reach your expiration date.
That's right.
And in the divine order of things, this is why Almighty God allows young and old to leave here every day. Just because you come out the womb of your mother don't mean you're going to be here 100 years.
That's right.
If you ever lost
That's right.
a child, you know what I'm talking about. So children, as leadership, we've got some people that been around a long time that been past their expiration date, but we still applauding them. We're still acclaiming them. We're still treating them as though they really have delivered for black people, and they haven't delivered a damn thing. But symbolism.
Teach.
Then we got other people that have laid it all on the line and have produced quality fruit and work byproduct for black people, and we step over them because they have not embellished their person. They weren't caught up in becoming a celebrity. So I listen to Brother Cyron, periodically throughout the week, and Brother Cyron, if you understand the vision he's laid out for organizing and embettering the community, what he has is beyond argument to me. But Cyron moves around. People that weren't supporting him when he was here every day. Then when he starts moving to other states and expanding his organizing capacity, people criticize him for moving around to other states. So when people do good, people are sincere, people make a sacrifice for us. If they don't make themselves a celebrity in your eyes, you don't know how to see goodness in people unless they're a celebrity or unless they're wealthy. That speaks to the character of that we have as a people. And those of us in leadership are pretty much the same way.
Teach.
This is why Reverend Jackson, knowing Negroes, always kept a camera around, because he knows if he got a camera around, you'll come. If he invites you to his press conference, you going because it's a camera around. You don't even know what he's talking about. You don't even know what deal he cut or he planned to cut. You don't know. You just go. You know it's going to be a camera there.
Teach, Michael.
Superficial leadership.
Teach.
Vain leadership.
Teach.
Ain't nothing wrong with being seen, but be seen as when you got some substance, man. Some of us want to be seen, but when the winds of opportunity blow, now it sucks us in the room to sell out the aspirations of our people and our community. And we got to get beyond that.
You would think, Minister Mike, thank you. All praise is due to the Creator for depositing that divine wisdom in your vessel. I want to thank God.
Praise the
Minister
Creator.
Michael, can you, since history best rewards our research, and Minister Mike is going to lay out as best as you can to reflect on those scenarios. You mentioned W.E. Du Bois. You mentioned Frederick Douglass. You mentioned Booker T. Washington. Talk about the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Kwame Ture, Frederick Douglass, Fred Hampton. I mean, the list go on and on. Our sister Dorothy Heights, Harriet Tubman. Tell the people, you all that's listening, I'm telling you, if you want to move beyond emotionalism and personality worship, check this out. So, Michael, what happened when you mentioned all these movements and situations that for whatever reasons that you can explain, what happened to those individuals when it was time for them to come in a room to figure out what is the best strategy, best way to accommodate the masses to pull us up out of poverty?
Well, I think we should all inform ourselves by reading Dr. King's I forget the name of the speech, but he talks about the drum major instinct.
Okay.
And Dr. King is dealing with this this urge in many of us to be the drum major. You know, the drum is loud and you bang the drum and it's loud. It'll overpower the other instruments. So he talked about he wanted to be a drum major for truth. And in that message, you'll see he's talking about people in his camp who are the other kind of drum major. They beat the drum because they want to be seen. So they the loudest, they the cockiest, they the boldest, they jump out in front of everybody. They want to be seen. The drum major, he talks about the drum major instinct. And we have that. We have this insatiable need to talk too much. Find me a page where Irish people put their agenda on Facebook. Find me the Instagram page where the Italians are laying out their strategy and their agenda.
Oh, boy.
Find me the social media site that's available to anybody where Chinese people are talking about their approach to the powers that be.
Oh, boy.
Right? So I'm saying that something happened to us in chattel slavery that we haven't overcome. This is why we can't let Bernie Sanders get away with not coming to terms with our right to reparations, not just financial reparations, but a psychological reparation. So
that creep.
The other thing is, white people, we have a bad habit of telling on ourselves. Most of the brothers in the joint are locked up because they told on themselves. And if they didn't tell on themselves, the guy they went and did the thing with told on them.
That's right.
We tell on ourselves. How does that relate to black leadership? It relates because we feel obligated to report back to Rom. Rom, this is what they're talking about. Bill Daley, this is what they talking about. Mayor Daley, this is what they talking. We go back. We come in the room with black leaders. We sit there. We play along like we with it. And as soon as we leave, we go tell.
Teach.
We're traitors to our own kind. So J. Edgar Hoover, who you mentioned earlier, what he did with Chairman Fred Hampton and Chief Malik was he turned them against each other. It didn't work all the way because, thank God, those brothers were smart enough to figure out that it was the enemy trying to turn them against one another. But when you look inside of all of our movements, whether it's the Nation of Islam, whether it's the Black Panther Party, whether it's a strong black, pro-black church organization, whatever organization you are a part of that's trying to get black people to come together, seek justice, equality, and leverage our strengths together, there's somebody in your organization that's on the payroll or voluntarily telling what you're doing to the oppressor.
Teach.
So the only hope you have is to be above board, to make your plans righteous and create an environment where you can get an indication of those who are working against you while they're acting as though they're with you.
Whoa.
Because the Judas factor runs very deep in human beings, especially in black people. So if you know, when Minister Farrakhan and Reverend Jackson were together, trust me, it was the enemy whispering to those around Reverend Jackson. You got to denunciate him. You got to denunciate him. You got to get rid of this Farrakhan. So at first, Reverend Jackson stood strong. At first, his attitude was, man, y'all can't tell me what to do. That's my brother.
Right, right.
But they kept poking at him, eating at him, biting at him until finally he did what they want. But that was coming through people around him. So what I'm saying is the enemy is within, and the enemy within is always somebody that looks like us, that works for our oppressor. Because of their sick mind, they help to destroy our efforts to seek justice in society.
Boy, the new face of racism is black.
That's right.
The new face of racism is black. And Mike, so look, if you are out there, how much, what we have, about 10 minutes? No. Oh, she said it's time to go. What the what? Folks, I promise you, if you believe in a higher power, you believe in a divine